Hey everybody, welcome back to Crazy Nut Reviews and another video. It's been a while uh, since I've been on camera. Been a while since I did one of these videos anyway. So today I thought we'd do something a bit more interesting than just any old, book review, and talk about books that I had a hard time with. Not books that I did not like, just books that I had a hard time reading, couldn't get into, that sort of thing. Um, so we've got 5 entries. Rules are pretty simple. The list is books that some books I have read, some books I haven't read. Let's start off with one that I haven't read. This is actually the only one that I haven't read to completion, and it is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I have no idea why everything is appearing backwards on this thing. I have to figure that out. The TV series was, as I'm sure everybody is aware, was hugely popular. My aunt actually got this for me for my birthday a couple of years back, and I tried to read it. I got maybe, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 chapters in, and then I lost track of everything. um, so, you know, I will I'm probably going to give it another go just to kind of see what's what. Maybe see what all the fuss is about. But when I first tried to read this, I love fantasy stories. I love Lord of the Rings. I love The Hobbit. Um, I've got the whole Belgariad series, so I love fantasy stuff. Um, but this was really difficult for me to get into, and so I really didn't actually get into this one beyond a couple of chapters. Right. So that's that. That's that one. Written by George R.R. Martin, obviously. I believe he's working on the final book in the series. I don't know that for sure. But from what I hear, he's working on what is supposed to be the final book. So we'll see when that comes out. Um, Next up, let's read one that I actually have finished, just for a change. Okay, so this is The Fear Index by Robert Harris. Now, the story follows um, a guy who kind of gets into his security system and basically starts trying. Because the lead character is a cybersecurity expert, and somebody breaks into his system, getting through all of his safeguards, and basically starts causing chaos, damages his career, starts messing with his head. And look, I got this one for Christmas, and I loved it. When I read it, I actually managed. I struggled to get into it, but once I got into it, it really was a lot of fun. And the reason this actually was so hard for me to read was purely that psychological, because at the time when I read it, I wasn't used to psychological horror novels, and that's really what this is. It takes the sort of standard, crime drama thriller, and it adds an element of supernatural, or not supernatural, I'm sorry, psychological horror to it, because you don't know what's going on. And in the end, he kind of has a bit of a Not he's not quite the same. His brain is kind of cooked. I mean, he recovers, as I recall. I haven't read this one in a while, but but you know, he doesn't really. He survives, but he's not the same. He's kind of he's in the hospital. He's got a lot of bad injuries, and so it's kind of a bittersweet ending, but definitely a very dark story. Very, very dark. Very, very kind of creepy. And again, it's not your typical. It's not a horror novel in the typical sense of, oh, look, there are monsters behind every door, but you definitely are terrified at times. Right. Now, um, okay, we got three more to do. Um, let's do this one next, because I still have a bookmark in this one. This is Pandora's Star by Peter F. Hamilton. Now, I got about a little over 200 pages in, and again, I lost track. Um, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody gave me um, a set of books for my birthday or something, and I kind of dove into those, and this kind of just went to the shelf. um, but yeah, so I got this. The sticker is still on the cover. I got this for about $50. Um, Not bad. Um, I don't even remember the storyline on this one. Da, 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 da. Hmm. So there's a star that disappears, and they set off to go and investigate. That's pretty much the best summary that I can give based on what I'm reading on the back there. So Hamilton is, from what I understand, one of the UK's top sci-fi writers, or he's considered to be one of their best. Um, I picked this up because of the cover. I mean, come on, that's such cool cover art, and I was looking for something new and interesting, um, and yeah, that's yeah, that didn't quite go the way I thought it would. I mean, hell, I've still got a bookmark in there, so yeah, that's Pandora's Star. Um, I will, I think, actually give that one another go because, come on, I got 200 pages into it. I gotta know what I'm missing. And I think it's the first book in a series as well. Let me just make sure. Commonwealth Saga. Commonwealth Saga, Part 1 of the Commonwealth Saga. That's right. There we go. There we go. Um, okay, so yeah, it's part of a series. Right. So next up, and I think I featured this book on the channel before. It's Michael Cobley's Cobley? I'm going to say Cobley. Michael Cobley's Seeds of Earth, and essentially what we've got here is way off in the future, people have started colonizing other planets, right? And the very first time that we encountered space aliens, essentially, they didn't like us very much. So they tried to invade Earth. The invasion was halted, and everybody starts trying to colonize other planets. To do this, they send out what they call seed ships. Right, so these are ships that have building materials. Let me see, what else is it listed on here? Oh, I see. So they didn't actually have a lot of hope of driving the invasion off, so they sent off colony ships. And about 100 years later, one of these um, colonies finds something that they really shouldn't have. Something that basically puts everybody back in jeopardy again. So I got about halfway with this one, and then I lost my bookmark. So I had one of these paper bookmarks, and the dog knocked the thing off the table. Paper bookmark fell out, and I couldn't remember where I was. So I just haven't given it another go yet. This is book 1 in, I think it's a trilogy. Yes, it's a trilogy. It's Seeds of Earth, Orphaned Worlds, and I can't remember what the third one is called. But again, I picked this up because of the cover art, and I looked at the plot description on the back, and I thought, oh wow, this is interesting. And I mean, it's an interesting concept, but it was so difficult to read. It was really difficult for me to get into, because the way it's written is each chapter is told by a different character. So now you've got to keep track of all the different characters and all the different stories. And it's the same in Game of Thrones. But I found that to be particularly frustrating. Right. So that's 4 entries so far. The 5th book I do not actually have a copy of. And that is because the 5th book is Battlefield Earth by L. Ron Hubbard. Now, I do not have a copy of Battlefield Earth because physical copies of Battlefield Earth and physical copies of books in general are not easy to get, and when you do get them, they are very expensive. Battlefield Earth is set millions of years in the future. Humans are they've pretty much kind of regressed. The dominant species on the planet is this alien race that has taken over. And one of the humans leaves his tribe and ends up actually kind of bringing humanity together to drive the aliens off, which was probably the more concise plot description, and probably a very bad plot description of a book that's over 1,000 pages long. I first saw the movie, and then I found the book in the library, and I initially thought the book was based on the movie, and then it turns out it was the other way around. But I thought, it's not badly written, but it's also not something I would recommend to just anybody. Like I said, I think, if I remember correctly, it's about 2,000 pages, something like that. and or at least that was the copy that I found. But it's very, very difficult to read. I found it very difficult to read. It's very heavy. Um, a lot of the characters are kind of flat in a lot of ways. You get access to the main character's sort of internal monologue of sorts, so you can kind of see what he's thinking. But it's very difficult to like or care about him or any of the others, quite frankly. Um, so, I mean, if you have read it, great. I know. I think it's John Travolta really liked it and actually went to get the film made, um, which was kind of an interesting little tidbit that I found. So yeah, I mean, it's a good book. I won't say it's a badly written book because it's not. It is actually really well written, but it's not exactly a book that everybody is going to be able to read. I know I struggled with it. It took me, I think, 3 tries before I managed to get all the way through it. Um, so yeah, Battlefield Earth. It's not the worst book I've ever read. Um, quite frankly, I can think of a couple of books that would probably qualify. But it is one of the heaviest, and so yeah. Anyway, that's 5 books that I had a hard time reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun for me to just get behind the camera, get in front of the camera again, sorry, and kind of just do something fun, do something different from all the usual, like, it's not the same list, like reading list type videos. It's a bit more personal, for lack of a better word. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly had a lot of fun putting it together. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the bell, make sure all your notifications are enabled so you don't miss anything when I upload. I've got a couple of things in the works. I'm doing a Star Wars Dark Forces playthrough, which you may have noticed, going live now. I've got a couple of other playthroughs that I'm doing as well that are also in the works. So stay tuned for those. And if you would like to see more of any of my stuff, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. If you do subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all notifications, as I just said. And don't miss anything when I upload it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.